Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Boulder Canyon. We are just about to get a little bit of beauty sleep. So there we go, we can sleep the night. Our cows are looking good in the pen over there. We do need to give them a little bit of food. We will do that soon. Now in the morning. We've got a new fertilizer spinner over there that is ready and raring to go. We've got a load of machinery that we need to put away, and we've got a lot of fertilizing that we need to actually do. We got lots and lots of different jobs. We've got lime that we're going to need to spread on all of the fields. We need to tidy up the animals. We need to go and deal with all of those. So let's have a quick scroll through. We're going to start off by getting this one going here. What I'm going to do is we're going to run down to the end of the row with this tractor here just a minute, and then I'm going to do a line down beside the road there and a little bit along the bottom, just so that we sort of have a bit more of a defined area for him to do his ploughing on, and then we can let that one carry on doing the rest of the ploughing that it needs to do, while we go and get started on some of our other jobs. The first and most important job, I think, really today is going to be getting the lime spread on this field and getting then fertilizer spread on all of the fields. So let's just stop you there a minute and we will spin you round like this. We want to get lime on this field, fertilizer on all of the fields, and then we need to start cultivating in this field so that we can get ready for planting our next crop. I don't actually remember what crop I said I was going to plant in here next. It's going to be either... No, canola. We're going to do canola, aren't we? We've got beans. We've already got some beans. We will do some canola in here. We've not done that yet, and have a crop of that one. That's the one that I said that I was going to do. Right, sorry about that, excuse me. Yeah, we will have a crop of canola grown in this field, and then once we've done that, we will go and plant another round of corn in this field and have that one all grown and harvested and everything. And then once we've done all of that, I don't think there's actually any more ploughing I need to do over here. I think I've actually got it all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to start up there, because I got a feeling that the hired help is just going to end up giving us some grief with this. So if I do this with... We're still using the hired help, but if I start it from this side so that he's got to go a bit longer each time, he shouldn't have as many problems. Sometimes it does it when the hired help has got to reduce the length of the pass each time. That's when we're more likely to have problems than if it does it the other way around. So we will leave it like that. And then we want to go to this tractor right here. We don't need to do anything with this trailer just for a minute. So we're going to take this trailer, we're going to bring it over this way, and we're going to park it up on here. Now, the other thing that we've got to do is it's first thing in the morning, and I haven't gone and done it. I do need to just check for it right now. We've got milk right here for our cows. We've got 6,500 litres of milk, which means that we've got to sell it. We're going to be selling. It's the first thing that we do every day is we sell the milk that we've acquired. So we've got to go and get the milk tanker. We've got a load of wool in here that we want to sell as well if the price is right. So let's have a look in here and see what the money is for. Oh, 1,026. It's above 1,000. We're going to sell it. I thought for a minute that that was wool, and it was $1,300 per €1,000 per 1,000 litres, but it's not. However, doesn't matter. We've still got a reasonable amount of money coming in. So we're going to sell the wool pallets right here. Now, I will just take that down to 1x speed so that I don't have excess wool being brought in. I'm not loading bales at the moment. I need to be mission pallets, egg boxes, cotton modules, pallets right there. That's the one that I want. And I now need to get a little bit closer to those over there. Terrible driving. Reversing that trailer there. That is not the way to do it. Right, let's get round there. It's a bit difficult to get close enough to these with the wheels being the way that they are. But I'm sure it'll be fine. There. So we've got the pallets strapped on over here. We've got roughly 40,000 litres of wool that we're about to go and sell, which is not too shabby, really. That's not a small amount of wool, especially when it's over 1,000 per 1,000 litres. We will take the straps off there and bring this up onto the unloading point right here. Sell all of that, and we got $47,000. $47,000 for selling that little tiny smidgen of wool right there. I'm going to bring this one across over this side. I should have gone round properly instead of going across the grass. That's not the way to behave. And we will go to here. We will load that on there like that. And then we will put the unloader out on that side so that we can put our pallets back. And the sheep can keep filling those up with wool across there. So we're bringing you forward a little bit. Little bit. Little bit. That'll do right there. There. That is absolutely spot on. Perfect. Now I will see if I can get out of here without messing up the reversing of this trailer. Sort of. I went too far there. I went too far. I've gone and I'm wiggling too much. I've already gone and ruined it. Completely ruined it. Right, let's bring you over here then, and you can stop there. You need to unhitch. Next, I will jump on and I will get that what do you call right there? That fertilizer spreader. If I go and get that one, we'll just get it unloaded off this trailer. Then these can go back to the shop. This trailer and the truck itself can head back to the shop. So we'll pick you up there. Plonk down over here. Lime is the first thing that we want to do with that, but we're not going to actually do that. That's not our first task that we want to do. We want to go into here a minute. So we've gone and sold the wool. That's been dealt with. We need to sell the rest of it right there. So I've got you need to be reset. Yes. So that one has returned to the shop along with the trailer. They've just gone and done that right there. They've gone and driven back, and now they're at the shop. And now in a completely unrelated task, nothing to do with us whatsoever, and also nothing to do with the actual shop, they've got a truck that is very similar. They're going to be bringing the milk tanker over, and they're going to be collecting our milk for the daily collection. And we're doing daily collection. We are going to do daily collection. I did ask a little while ago whether we should do daily or every 2 days. Most of the responses were daily collection would be best. So we will do daily collection. There's quite a few farms in the UK now that only get every other day collection. They're expected to keep the milk refrigerated on site after they've milked their cows, and then every 2 days the tanker comes along and carts the milk away. It was some farmers have struggled with that transition and have not really been best suited for it. They've had to fork out several £1,000s, a lot of thousands of pounds, in order to increase the amount of storage they've got for milk on the farm, so that they can actually so they can actually keep it there for 2 days, because they didn't have the tank capacity to do it. And it's not just any old tank. You've got to have a refrigerated tank so that it keeps the milk cool and stops it from going bad. And you've got to be particularly careful with it, because you're keeping it for 48 hours instead of just the normal 24. I mean, ideally, you're not keeping it for 24. The most you'd be keeping milk in the tank for would be 12 hours. Because you milk in the evening, you milk in the morning. And you have the morning milking done before the milk tanker turns up. So he's just done. And then you do your evening milking much later in the day. So there's much less time that you're keeping the milk for. But if he's only turning up once every 2 days, you're still looking at 36 hours of keeping milk on site before it's sent off. And you've got to remember that you don't pasteurize the milk yourself. So you haven't got, like, sterilized milk like you get from the supermarket, obviously. You've got milk that has got all of the natural stuff in it. So all the natural bacteria and anything like that, which could cause problems. You know, without it being pasteurized, it's not going to last anywhere near as long as the milk would if it was actually pasteurized. And so then you've got spoilage issues. And more than one farmer has been penalised because his refrigeration unit hasn't quite been up to par. And so the bacteria count in the milk is starts to climb up. And this shows up very quickly on tests that are done with the lab from the company that gathers the milk, that collects the milk. They run tests on every single farm for every single little detail you can think of. They have all sorts of bacterial tests, and they're also testing for the fat content of the milk, and there's a few other bits and pieces. I think they may even test protein content. I'm not sure about that. I don't really know how that works. But there are a number of different tests that they do. They're also testing for antibodies and antibodies and what else is it they test for? Pretty sure that they also test milk for antibiotic, the residual antibiotics as well, whether there's any residue for antibiotics in the milk. And there's a certain amount that is allowed. So if you've previously treated an animal with antibiotics, it will show up a bit, but it's not going to cause any major problems. If you're currently treating an animal with antibiotics and that milk goes into the system, it will show up, and I think they even reject the entire load for that. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what the regulations are on that one, though, so definitely don't go quoting me on any of that. So I need to load up all 6,611 litres of milk right here, which we can go and sell. We're getting 1,300 per 1,000 litres at the moment. So we go and sell. This is what we're expecting, roughly, per day from our cow. I mean, that's just from the first day, and they weren't here all day. So we're hoping that we can get more cows. We've got $121,000 at the moment, and we're hoping that we can go and get more cows so that we can get more money coming in from them. That would be the greatest thing, if we could have more. So we can put that onto there, and then we've sold the milk. So we don't own this tanker, remember. That's not our tanker. That's $8,700 have come in from the milk from the first day for the cows, which is pretty good, I'd say. Remember, we don't own this tanker. This tanker is not ours. It's just here to represent the merchant coming along and collecting the milk. That's all we're doing. That's just a little bit of role play. The merchant is in collecting the milk. This tanker, this truck, it does not belong to us. It does not belong to the farm. It is absolutely nothing to do with us whatsoever. So the merchant has collected the milk and he's driven off up the road. So we'll do that. He can drive off up the road. And then what we'll do is we will spin him round like this. And then the merchant is ready to come back the following day. He's now ready to come back tomorrow to get the next lot of milk. But we got a lot of work that we want to do before he can get here. He's almost finished. Excellent. Right. I think I will do the spreading with this one. We will get some lime on the field first. And we will lime the field that we have just ploughed. We'll get that done. I need to actually put lime and fertilizer on that field. I could also do with putting some fertilizer on the other field. We'll do that in a bit. We'll use the other tractor for that. Let's back you up there, like that. We'll lower you down there. Undo, and lime is the one that we want. Now, this doesn't go very far. Lime doesn't. I know that we've got, we've only had 1,000 litres. Now we've got 3,200 litres, but it still doesn't go very far. Alright, 3,200 litres with lime does not go very far at all. With fertilizer, yes, it does. It will go a long way. I'm going to start that one right there. Wow. Wow, look at that. That is absolutely brilliant. We're way wider now than we were with the last spreader. Let's try that then, shall we? Okay, that's a little bit... There we go. That's actually spot on. That is what we want right there. Look at that spread. Look at that spread. That is absolutely wonderful. I don't think technically it would be able to spread the lime that far, because lime is quite it's a dust rather than like the fertilizer, which is pellets. So I don't think it would physically be able to throw it that far. It's not going to make a huge difference, not in the grand scheme of things. I think that it is acceptable for us to just have it spreading on this kind of width at the moment. We'll let it come all the way down here, and then it can stop right there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up, and I'm going to manually drive around the field this way a little bit so we can get a bit more of the lime going onto the field. Just over here for when it wants to, like, turn on the headlands and things like that. It'll make it a little bit easier. It doesn't have to go right off the end of the field. I need to get that tractor over there doing something. What I think we will do is we're probably better if we get the fertilizer going, because then I can use that tractor to go and feed the animals. Because I do actually need to feed the animals in a minute. There. So we've got that little bit done there. We can now run back over this way, and we can collect another tank full of lime, and then we will start spreading out over that side. And yeah, I'll use the Deutz to go and start feeding the animals up here. We've got a few different... Whoa! Oh no! It's the second time I've tipped this one upside down. What is wrong with my driving? Seriously, how did I wind up on top of the wall up there? Oh, that was terrible. Okay. That would have done us some serious damage. I'm not quite sure how heavy my fertilizer spreader is, but it shouldn't have done that. That would have done a lot of damage to us. We need to remove money from the kitty for that. We need to be on 5 times speed. Money is... there's got to be a penalty for that. There has got to be a... Oh, I know what we can do. Now, we don't actually own these machines over here. However, we can still use it to extract the penalty. So we're on 129,000. We need to spend a bit of money. I know I can... There are, like, tools that I can go and use to change some of these things around. This one right here, $37,000. That one would be to buy. If I go into garage in here and we go through... Where is that forklift? It's right back at the beginning, maybe. I thought I went past... Oh, I have gone past it. Right. Oh, was I... Oh, no. I got that one. I got that one on this leased. Right. Return. Yes. Right. Now, technically, we're not going to be... We won't own this forklift. This forklift does belong to the dealership. It does not belong to us. But we're going to do it like that. $37,000, I feel, would be a suitable price for us to pay for having just rolled that tractor upside down and then landed the underside of the engine on top of a wall like that. That would have done some serious damage. You got to remember, this tractor is like $220,000 new. So that... What I did just then, that would have done some serious damage. So I feel that $37,000 to pay for that damage, that seems reasonable. I should think that was a really stupid thing to go and do, and that was a very expensive thing to have gone and done as well. Like, we did some... We would have smashed the windows on that. Major damage done to the underside of the tractor on that. It's... Yeah, it would have cost us a lot of money to put that right. So I feel that we've kind of balanced that right. I think $37,000 for repairing all of the damage that we just did on there would be about right. I mean, if you think that I've gotten that wrong, if you think my estimate is too high or too low, get in the comment section. Let me know. Tell me what you think. You think perhaps I was a little bit excessive with those costs? Do you think that maybe it shouldn't have cost $37,000? Because let's be honest, a lot of farmers are able to go and repair their own machines. So perhaps you feel that it wouldn't have cost that much. I'd have gotten a load of parts and I'd have done all the job myself. Me, I'm sort of thinking, no, actually... I probably wouldn't have done that myself, but even if I did, the parts, just for repairing the machine, they would still have cost a fair slice of money as well. You know, I'm not so sure that $37,000 would have been out of the way for replacing all of the doors and windows on the cab, where we just rolled it upside down, and doing all of the other bits as well that we needed to do. And if I bring you out over there's the last 100 litres gone out of the spreader right there. We're done. Okay. Now we can head up this way. Let's see if we can do it without actually rolling the tractor upside down. I feel that that would be a step in the right direction. Once we've done this, we still got to do the fertilizer spreading. The actual fertilizer spreading. So this time, instead of keeping the pedal to the metal as we come up through here, we will turn around a little bit more slowly. Like that. A little bit more sedately. A little bit more sensibly. There. Now, we're not going to flip the tractor upside down, and we're not going to have any major problems. So we can start, load that one up with lime again. Aries loaded up with lime. Put the cover back on. And away we go once more. This time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the hired help going from about this point right here, I think. Seems to be about right. And yeah, I think the distance is about right as well. So we'll leave that one going there, and he can do what he's going to do. And then I will come back over to this tractor. We will take you back to the yard. The plough is going to need a bit of repair work. A little bit of polishing. We need to hose it off. We need to clean it up. And we need to just run some repairs. We're not actually repairing the plough as such as doing maintenance work. What we'll be doing is the little spikes on the bottom. Those little spikes down there. You can see they're sort of caps. Let's have a look. If you have a look there, you can see that that bit there is a cap that fits over the end of that. And what you've got is you've actually got a bolt that goes through in underneath there. And you can just about get to it. The bolt is reasonably protected. But those caps there, they're made of hardened steel or tungsten very often. They got tungsten plates over them. Makes them last a lot longer. And they wear down. That's the wear point. That's the wear tip on the plough. And the idea is that that wears out as opposed to the main shaft down here. Because otherwise this would just be worn away to some sort of little nub over here that would be useless. So you have that bit on there. That does the digging. And then when that's worn down, then you take those off and you put fresh ones on. With the new bolts that go through, and that preserves this bit here. Now you'll often find that this bit here does wear as well, and it will wear all the way up, and eventually this would need to be replaced because it would wear thin. But what you can get is some tungsten strips, and what some people do is they get tungsten strips and they weld them onto the front all the way up through here. It does depend on the amount of work that you're doing with your plough, with a subsoiler type thing like this. But those strips all the way up through there, they preserve the life of this one by a factor of 10 times. You'd want it to be at least that, because those tungsten strips are an absolute fortune. They are really, really expensive. It is not a cheap thing to go and buy. They are very expensive. So that's why you don't have the whole plough made out of it. You get little tiny thin strips that are welded onto it. Of course you are. Of course you're finished. Yes, I absolutely believe you're finished. Look. Right there, looking at an empty field with nothing on it, and you're telling me you're finished. You are finished. You are absolutely finished. You are finished as far as your employment is concerned. You can head off down the valley and find someone that is willing to put up with your nonsense, because I'm not. Right, we're a tough breed up here in the mountains. We're a tough breed, and we don't put up with nonsense up here. We can't afford to. It's a matter of life and death. Well, actually, it's a matter of my pocket. And my pocket doesn't like the idea of you being lazy. I probably should have put fertilizer on that field last night, before we started doing anything else, really. Never mind. What's done is done. We will leave that one as it is. I do have... No, I don't have... I was going to say I've got the other fertilizer spreader still, but I don't. I no longer have that other fertilizer spreader. We've only got this one, so we'll have to wait until this one is done. So I've got to... I've spread the fertilizer on here. Helper E is... You haven't completed anything! Seriously? Let's just not go there today. Let's just not go there. We've already fired one person. We don't need to fire anymore. I think they've gotten the message. Right, let's go over this side and we will hose down this plough. Clean that one off a little bit, and then we need to go and change the points on the plough as well, just to refresh them up. And we may even give a little coat of paint to the plough just to freshen up the entire appearance of the machine. Now, that's not done. Some people will paint their machinery and paint them up when they give them a service, just so that they look good. But that's not the only reason for putting a lick of paint onto it like that. Like, at the moment, we've got it there, and it's got bare metal all the way through. Now, some people, when they put their machinery away in storage, they will get a mixture of grease and oil sort of blended together a little bit and put it through a spray gun and spray it over their machinery, and it puts a layer of grease over this nice clean metal. And what that does is it stops the metal from going rusty. Preserves the machine quite nicely. So a lot of people will smear a big load of grease all over the machine before they go and put it away. Horrible, horrible job. I hate getting covered in grease. I genuinely do. I really, really despise getting grease on my hands. I've always have. I absolutely hate it. This is why I can't work on cars or engines without wearing gloves, because I get oil and grease on my hands, and I really hate that. Unusual for a farmer, I admit, having spent so much time, such a large portion of my life farming. Most farmers don't really care about grease. I absolutely can't abide grease on my hands. Some farmers will go and put a lick of paint onto the machine like this before they go and store it away, because that will also preserve against getting a whole load of rust on it. And then you've got the other farmers who just go and dump it in the bushes regardless, and don't care about the rust in the slightest. Those are a breed that are no longer sort of... most of the farmers that did operate like that don't tend to operate for very long. They're the ones that either have got more money than they know what to do with, or they eventually go out of business because they're spending too much on, like, having to replace the machinery and things like that. It's yeah, it's not good farming practice. It's not. It's absolutely not. Right, we will go and swap over. We want to get the bucket on so that we can tidy up the chickens. We want to tidy up the sheep over there. We've also got the cattle up there that we want to tidy up. We're gonna need to put bales in for the sheep. Let's have a look. How are the sheep for food? Could do with putting a few bales in for the sheep. We'll do that in a bit. We will come and do that in a bit. But before we go and do that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just get another load of lime into this spreader so that we can carry on with this one. He's probably going to run down to the end of the field and say, you know what, I've finished. So we might have to just manually do a little bit of that. Help him along a little bit. And then we can get going with the actual fertilizer on this field. We got two jobs that we need to do. One is the fertilizer and one is the lime. Bring you back there, like that. And lower you down. Right. Start. Load that bad boy up. Get that all completely loaded up, and then if I just go over to the other end of the field, I could just start doing the lime from over there, and that will allow me just enough time, hopefully, to go and do the stuff that I need to do with the loader tractor, tidying up the sheep and the chickens, so that we can keep that moving. And then we've also sort of reached the point where we're almost ready to to start, like, on the next bit. We're going to be getting the fertilizer going is not going to be much of a problem. That's going to be pretty quick. And then if I just go like that there, bring you down across here, that's going to do that bit nice and tidy. Should run right down to the end of the field this time and just turn round on that bit. Okay, we'll leave you go. We'll assume that you know what you're doing. We will demonstrate faith in your abilities. We'll get the rear weight on here. It's not so important for the bucket, but we are going to want it for when we want to move some bales in a minute. So we'll just have it on and ready to go. So let's bring you up over this way. We want to tip this in for the chickens and then get a bit more. Well, actually, do we need any more grain for the chickens? What do we like for chickens? Cleanliness is terrible. They're all right for... They've got probably 3 days worth of food on there. Cows, we got 60 of them, and they really desperately need food. And water, we don't need to worry about quite so much, because you just go along and turn the thing on, and then it's absolutely fine. Let's go and lift up that lot there. So there's another 800 litres of wheat going in for the chickens. And just tip that out for them like that. And then I can quickly run over this side and go and get the sheep tidied up. That is a lot of grass that the sheep have managed to tip out the front of their trough. That is a huge amount of that. That is ridiculous. I mean, seriously, you don't need to make this much of a mess when you're eating, sheeps. You really don't. You really, really don't need to make this much of a mess when you're eating. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Even I eat tidier than this. Tip a little bit more out there, and then go in just one last little bit like that. 3 bucket loads. Well, 2.5 bucket loads technically, but yeah, we had to do it 3 times. So we do still need to give them some food. Let's swing round over here and just tidy up the cattle a second. They've got... Actually, I don't know what they'll have. Helper A has got an empty tank. Right, we're just about run out of time. We should be able to finish doing the lime spreading. That's what I'm hoping. If we can finish the lime... Now, you go and put mixed ration in for the cows, and what you end up getting in the front is silage. I've never quite seen why on this one. This one always seems a little bit odd to me. You put mixed ration in, you get silage come out. And the problem with that wouldn't be a problem, except that with the way that this works now, if you've got total mixed ration in there, they don't consume any of the silage whatsoever. So technically what we should do is we should pick up the silage from here, and we should go and run it around down the bottom, but we're not actually going to do that. What we are going to do, we got $90,000 at the moment. I'm just going to stop you there a second, because we're not going to do any more today with that. Well, not today's episode, I mean. We've got to have enough money for seed to plant that field. We've got everything else that we need to be able to plant, to be able to remove the straw. There wasn't going to be straw because we're doing canola. We've got everything we need. We don't need to buy any more machinery just yet. So what we will do is we will buy a few more cows. So we'll go and have a look in here. And it's the brown and white ones that we're looking at. So we're going to be getting a few more of these. We need to keep a close eye on the price. I reckon if we keep ourselves back roughly $20,000, that would be about right. So we want 1, 2 more. That's going to give us 60. That's going to leave us with 29,000. So we can put that up to 67,500. That's going to give us $22,105 left. There. 22,105. We've got some new livestock in here. That means that we've now got 85 cows on farm. And if we go and have a look in here for the farms, we get another animal in 45 minutes. The reproduction rate is 1 cow every 21 hours now. We next need to get trailer loads of food in for the cows. That's what they're going to be needing, and we will have to go and do that. But before we do that bit, actually, I want to go to you, and we've got just a tiny little bit left. I get 1 more spreader load, and then we can go and finish off these bits. But that will have to finish tomorrow, as I've run out of time for today's episode. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to go and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.